The past 4 weeks with Riley had been a whirlwind affair for Jasmine. She never seemed to notice how he always managed to be where she was out in public. She also didn't notice the blinking red box under her car as she bent over to pick up her keys near her rear tire. A large dog barking in the background caused her to stand straight up. She was afraid of dogs, always had been since her encounter with the neighbor dog at 12. She instinctively touched the scar on the back of her neck in reflex, and a slight chill ran up her spine. Her eyes darted quickly up and down the street. She had parked in front of the brown brick 3-story home on Arlington Avenue as Riley had instructed. This was the first time she had been to his home. She, however, had not invited him to hers. She was always the overprecautious type. Not seeing any fur or teeth speeding at her, she let out her breath and smoothed down the red pencil skirt she had worn to work that day. She purposely wore it, knowing it was Riley's favorite color. Even she was surprised at how fast and far she had fallen for this mysterious, handsome Adonis. Her actions reminded her of a schoolgirl crush. He surely didn't make things easy. Always the doting partner, opening doors, seeming to anticipate her needs and wants before she asked, and his bedroom skills left her in a fetal position, shivering, wanting it to stop and start all over again, all at the same time. She walked up to the door and can hear the sound of instrumental jazz with a mix of hip hop and warm electric guitar. She knew her music instruments well. She tapped her foot and closed her eyes while she waited for him to open the door, his footsteps approaching from far off in the back of the house. She opened her eyes to his smiling face. Enjoying the music, I see. It was more of an observation than a question. She nodded in peaceful agreement as she seemed to float across the threshold. Welcome to my home. Nice skirt. He kissed her ever so softly at the nape of her neck. Let me take your bag and fix you a glass of wine. He took her hand and led her into a large room off to the right of the entryway. The home was modern and eclectic, not a typical bachelor pad. In fact, it looked lived in, specifically by a woman. The decor was meticulous, down to the beading in the drapes, and the area rug was surely woven with the finest of silks. Definitely not the one you're going to see hanging at the Infinity store on Cleveland Avenue. That's for sure. He led her over to the couch, and when she sat down, he reached down to slowly remove her heels. He kept them in his hand, placed her bag on the chair by the fireplace, and winked at her as he disappeared into what she assumed was the kitchen. That's where all the smell goods were coming from. Yes, yes, you heard it. This man could cook as well. He was a total package. It was only a matter of time before she realized what was inside of it. You have a beautiful home, she said loudly in his direction as she could no longer see him. Thank you. It's been a labor of love. I'll give you a tour after dinner. Hopefully, of that headboard first, she muttered under her breath. The jazz continued to play in the background as she settled down further into the couch. She didn't notice she had dozed off until he had touched her leg gently. He was standing there with two glasses of wine. He handed her hers, placed his on the table, and sat on the couch next to her. He put her legs in his lap and began massaging her feet like it was his full-time job. I'm sorry. It was a long day, Jasmine apologized. I know, baby. You want to take a hot bath? I can draw one for you, and then we can eat when you get out. Oh, that sounds so good. Mm. What did you cook? Smells delicious. Her stomach chose that moment to growl loud enough for both of them to hear, and they broke out in a fit of laughter. Salmon, asparagus with béarnaise sauce, and fingerling potatoes. You said that like it was a cheeseburger and fries back there cooking, she said with a smile and pat to her stomach. They both walked up the winding staircase with glasses in hand, overlooking each lower level as they climbed. The architecture was definitely custom. Riley began preparing her bath with bubbles and steaming hot water just the way she liked it. Once he got Jasmine settled in the tub in the guest room, Riley went back downstairs to finish preparing dinner. He wanted everything to be perfect for tonight. He was going to ask her a serious question that could ultimately change the course of both of their lives. Jasmine settled back against the spun headrest that Riley had put in the tub for her and let her thoughts carry her into a semi conscious state. 40 minutes later, Jasmine was done bathing, dried off, and was looking for something comfortable to put on in Riley's room. She had tiptoed down the hall, not wanting to spoil his tour for her he had planned later. She knew how important details were to him, just as much as they were to her. She opened his dresser and took one of his neatly balled up pair of socks from one drawer, his Harvard sweatshirt, and a pair of sweats from his closet. Just as she was about to shut the door back to his closet, she noticed a light coming from the back. She went towards it to turn it off. And that's when she noticed it wasn't a light at all, but an entire room with a light shining through in his closet. She looked over her shoulder and pushed the door open. She felt herself going cold as she looked around the room and saw her face on pictures, newspaper clippings, and court documents. from 10 years ago. She instantly fell dead inside. Just as she was turning to leave, above the door, she noticed a picture: an older man and a younger man, a third of his age. Jasmine stopped dead in her tracks. All of the color drained from her face, and she felt the floor beneath her feet moving. That was until her head hit the floor. The picture on the wall seemed to smile down at her in mocking laughter as she lost consciousness. I really hope you guys are enjoying the original story so far. Be sure to check out each Saturday as the story continues for 4 weeks in a row. Each month, there's a new storyline, new product features. Today's product features were the at home facial steamer, the Mary Kay brow and lash serum, the satin lip scrub and balm from Mary Kay, and the Store Magic 24 karat gold flecked facial serum. Be sure to check the description for links to any of the products featured in today's Spa La 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 Saturday and a Story with El Renee. See you next Saturday. The past 4 weeks with